Hi, Earth. This is Jeffrey. This is your reading. I got a message ready. This is your reading for the 14th through the 20th of August. Take what you need and leave the rest. So, what I mean by that is, the story reveals itself really quickly a lot of times. So, sometimes you meet a person at a party or whatever, and they have something to say and it just sort of resonates with you. It makes sense. It's like there's a truce that came through, or you could see something on on the internet or whatever, and it's like, oh, I never thought of it like that, or that's a good way to I don't know, fix my problem, move forward. And it's like, yeah, okay. So you got what you needed, but you know, it's like, wow, maybe you got the seed of an idea. And it's like, okay, you got what you needed. There's no need to like beat a dead horse. There's no need to, make it into something it's not, or romanticize something, or you see what I mean? Sometimes you just get the information you need right away. So, like, this is like, I don't know if it's the greatest example. I met somebody last night and I reached out, just to be friendly because they're visiting Mexico. And I just thought they were nice and, interesting. And so I reached out and they were, very, I'll see. Well, I got the information I needed, right? And the information I needed for myself, just for an example, was that I'm kind and loving and generous, and I try to be welcoming. And some people the answer is no, right? Or maybe. So it's like, okay, well, I'm not going to reach out again, right? I got what I needed. It's not like, oh well, it's really important that I take care of you. Like, I've been down that road before. You know what I mean? Like that's just a little example. Or you watch, maybe you turn on a video by accident in the middle of it and they say one sentence and it's like, oh, well, maybe that was all you needed. Like you go to the grocery store to buy a certain spice, you're in the middle of a recipe, right? So go to the grocery store to buy one spice. Well, while I'm here, I'm going to end up spending money on stuff that I already have at home that I don't really need. Well, that's not really practical. That's not really, it's kind of a waste of your time and energy. You know what I mean? Like if you're really focused on getting that recipe done, then get the recipe done. Go and get the spice that you need. And now you're online and somebody says, oh, what's that spice? And you say, oh, it's this, and I'm using it for that. Like, oh, well, another good reason, another good thing to use that spice for is la la la. That was useful information. Thank you very much. Doesn't mean I have to invite you out for lunch, right? I mean, not that there's anything wrong with inviting somebody over for lunch, but like focus on the kernel. Okay, that's a little mini message. Or sometimes you watch one of these teachers. I'll give you an example. I can't help myself. You watch one of these teachers, and there are some things that they say that it's so true, like it just vibrates through your body. And then maybe that was all you needed. It's like, well, I have to follow them forever and ever now. And, everything they say is true. It's like, maybe not. We all channel stuff, and some of it's like on target and some of it isn't. All right. Hmm. Well, okay. There are good cards. The four, the Empress, fabulous, and the 10. So, in light of what I just said, right? because the Ten of Pentacles a lot of times is the family. A lot of times the Ten of Pentacles is dynasty, the family, a family business, intergenerational wealth. Like that's what it's about. And then I have the Four of Wands, and the Four of Wands is stability. Excuse me. And it's domesticity, and there's a stableness to it. And there's also this energy of being at home with oneself, of being comfortable, but at being at home, not only in your physical home, but at home. What I get from that card a lot of times, I'm at home with my body, I'm at home with my mind, I'm at home with my spirit, I'm at home, I'm comfortable, I'm relaxed, and I'm relishing it, right? And then I have the Empress, who's all about flow, all about abundance, all about growth. So what I'm getting is, you know, maybe this isn't the most popular thing to say, but I'm really good at that. Uh, it's like, okay, maybe mm, there are things that I might have gotten from my family or from my business or from the dynasty that I come from that are very abundant and clear and fertile that make me feel comfortable. And the other stuff, because it's always a mixed bag. I'm just I'm not going to utilize, I'm not going to tap into, I'm not going to um, be caught up in or entertain. Because sometimes it's like, well, they have something to offer me, and I'm going to utilize what they have to offer me. But maybe there were other things that were offered or maybe imposed on me. And it's like, well, no, I don't have to be involved in that. It's almost like cutting a conversation short in a way. That's what I'm getting. All right. Yeah. Because I don't know how to put this. Okay. This is self imposed mental bondage. So it's like maybe it was a mixed bag, like the family you grew up in, right? It probably is, like that's the way it is. It's like, okay, well, I can, be like the victim child if I want. However, I did get fed, I did go to school. There is some money there, and it's like that's what I'm going to concentrate on. Like that's what I'm going to concentrate on the things that it afforded me on the see, as opposed to whatever you pay attention to grows. Yeah. Because otherwise I get really lost, and it wasn't perfect. Of course it wasn't perfect. It wasn't what I needed. So well, then you go out and get what you need. Yeah. See, that's the thing. I feel it's almost like two different rows here. It's really interesting. What an interesting reading. Look at these rows. This is all light and beautifulness, and this is all weird. I mean, this one can go either way, but this is self-imposed. This is grief. This is fantasy, right? Getting confused and lost, and mm, I don't know, the daydreams in your head. So it's like that's one part of it. So it's kind of like take what you need and leave the rest, right? And then this is like stability, abundance, and wealth, and comfort and foundation. So it's like, well, how am I looking at it? Am I going to take what worked? So last night I was talking to Mexicans, and they were complaining about the Mexican school system, like the like before college. And I grew up in a really volatile. I'm just going to use that word because I could add all these other adjectives that are like not so pleasant. Not cursing, just, but I don't want to add to it. But you know what? I went to private school, so I got a really good education, and I utilize it. I utilize it in the Tarot because, like, I learned world history, like I can't even begin to tell you, and it turned me on to history. It turned me on to like symbolism and occult, and I use it today, right? So it's like, well, this happened, that happened. Like, yeah, I know that happened. It's not like I don't know. Um, but if I'm living in that, then I can't utilize the gifts that were there because every blessing is a curse and every curse is a blessing and every uh, obstacle is an opportunity. So it's like, how am I, like take what you need and leave the rest, take what you need and leave the rest. That's my little beginning. Should be an interesting reading for Earth. Okay, I'm going to show you the cards. Yeah, my stability is based in my sense of flow and abundance and growth. And the gifts that I've partaken of and received, if I, put myself into a state of it wasn't good enough, and I wish I lived in, the Brady Bunch, then I'm just going to put myself in a state of grief, a state of loss. So, quite the interesting beginning. Perspective. All right. Extended readings are available for members, $4.99 or $7.99 a month. Please become a member. It really helps me out. If you'd like a private reading, if you'd like a pendulum session, if you'd like an IET session, if you want to learn pendulum, if you want to learn tarot, all the information is floating around on my websites. And I have really beautiful artwork available for purchase, really inexpensive. Like the big ones, it's like 12 by 16, more or less. They're like $200 original artwork signed. And then the smaller ones, which are like 9 by 12, more or less. I think it's 8.5 by 11.75 or whatever, are $100. So don't be shy. And, artists need support. All right. Blessings.